Welcome to day 5 and 6 of our journey from Alaska to Virginia in a Scout 800A. This morning we are enjoying one of the best boondocking sites we've had on the entire trip so far. Today we'll be driving down to Watson Lake, but not before we take a little hike to see a couple waterfalls along the way and perform a little maintenance on the Scout's Overdrive system. In Watson Lake, we hope to find our sign that we put up 27 years ago at the Signpost Forest, and then we're going to backtrack a little bit to take the detour down the Cassiar Highway because of the Alaska Highway road closures. So stick around, it's going to be a great episode, and let's get on the road. All right. Stop messing. All right. She says I say all right too much. So, our view from the camper this morning. Quite lovely. So if you're ever curious about how we do the recording and stuff out here, is we have this giant solar panel that charges my laptop quite well. And we have a battery pack that we fill up and use it. But internet has been a struggle in these remote areas. So my videos are running a little further behind than I would prefer, but we have to find some internet service to make this work. And we have a little solar panel here that, if you follow the wire up, April's using as a bug fan.
And charging her Fitbit.
And charging her Fitbit right down there. Works pretty good. What are we having this morning?
Sausage links and omelet.
Looking good.
And the good old
Carton o' egg.
But they do have peppers.
Oh. So totally perfect.
These
Hey, but
these are better.
Did we already use up our other egg?
No, I'm trying to use those are older.
Oh, these are older. Okay, so we're going to use these.
When you have an omelet, that's special.
That's oh, gotcha.
Because it's got peppers in it.
Gotcha. And then April in her bug net.
No. My ninja suit.
Her ninja suit. I have to admit we were a little slow leaving camp that day. The view across that lake was just incredible, and it was hard to pack up and leave. But we did. Found us a place to get gas and started heading towards Watson Lake. After pulling out from the gas station, we ran into a little trouble with the Scout. I had really developed a fair amount of confidence in the running of the Scout, but there's still some things about it that we have difficulty with. I believe she got hot sitting there. Yeah, we're pushing 200 degrees. She is sputtering like crazy. Then we'll go slow up this hill for a minute. She sputters when she gets hot. So if you are driving hard and you stop for gas, sometimes you have to be a little easy on it in the heat. Come on, baby. There's a thing right over there, but I don't think that's going to help us. A rest area. What I need to do is get up to speed, pull it off. The problem is we are going up a hill. So I'm just going to ride over here in the emergency lane for a minute and see if we can't get up the hill. idiot. And I might be. It'll get better. We're doing all right. We're gaining speed. I'm in too low. Get up a little higher. Move back down to about 190. She don't like it. The first time this happened, we were in a very remote area, and we're a little bit freaked out. But now we just smile and drive, slowly try to gain speed. This works good with no traffic. This will be a little harder down south. Uh-oh, here we go, too high. Woo. Too high, pushing a solid 20 miles an hour. Getting a little better. Yeah, still running real hot, because it is hot. But we also just sat there at a gas station, and I left the motor idling so I could charge my laptop so that I could put up the next video. Which might have been foolish. Currently, I was converting the video for upload. I'm about 10 minutes away from it finishing. So I pushed it. I should not have pushed it. But if we make the top of the hill, there it is. I'm whopping 23 miles an hour, but I see the end in sight. The two ladies in my life don't do well in heat.
No, we don't.
My Scout and my wife. Nope. You don't want her to get hot, you don't want her to get hungry. Either one of them.
Haven't figured out. If you're hungry, you get hangry. But if you're hot, what do you get?
PO'd. Oop, oop. Topping the top, here we go. Going about 30 now. I'm gonna grab 3 low. Alright, there we go. We've hit the critical number. It's starting to drop at 190 on the gauge. We run at 180 pretty much always, but it's not really this temperature that when this gets to 180 it might still sputter. I really think what it is it is in the carburetor, like vapor locking or something in the carburetor, or you get vaporization of the fuel. I don't know. If you have any ideas, put it in the comments. My only idea is to just not let it get hot. And I messed up. Okay, 3 high. And we're off. So basically, we stopped at a rest area to have a little break, and there's a little hiking trail. And this will be good because I've got a cramp in my leg from driving. I love the way our bench seat turned out. It is not exceptionally comfortable, but it's probably the most comfortable bench seat out there with extra padding. And we are, I don't know, we just do what?
Or cool.
Oh yeah, no, it's not very cool either. The black pleather is pretty warm. But basically, little cramp is. Oh yeah. My seamstress who worked on our seat. We bought a cover, but the cover would not fit if you put extra pad on the seat, and so my wife did some modification. Yes. Oh yeah, she used her Husqvarna sewing machine and put it together. Anyway, we're going for a little walk down to Rancheria Falls. Here's the one falls, and then you can look right out through there and see the other one where it was coming out. We're pretty close. 3/4 of a mile, I think, or maybe it was 1/3 of a mile. Certainly wasn't much. Well worth the walk. Camped here about 16 miles out of Watson Lake, where we have to take a detour because of the washout on the Alaska Highway. So we camped, nice little camp here. Not bad, not a lot of people around. We stayed in a campground last night in hopes of uploading a video with their internet, but as it turns out, their internet is so amazingly slow, I was unable to do that at all. So, oh well. This morning I'm gonna do a little maintenance, or just a little check. As we get further down the Alaska Highway, the speeds have increased to 100 kilometers an hour, which is about 65, which is about 5 more than I can do comfortably. I mean, my Scout likes. My Scout cruise around long all day at 60. 65 is pushing it, and I don't like to push it, but I have been pushing it just a little. What I've noticed is that the Overdrive lever vibrates substantially. And it's not because it's installed incorrectly or anything. It's just that the original design is a little sloppy. You know, it's a pin with it's a metal pin 2 washers and a cotter pin that hold it in place, or at least the model I have, which is the Warren Overdrive. But you know, it could have been a little bit more robust. It just vibrates, bzzz, you know. So this morning I'm looking at that. I'm gonna tighten. There's one bolt I think I might can tighten up a little bit, which might help some. And I've also thought about just putting some silicone over the vibrating part in hopes that it will stop the vibration. You know, it's not gonna stop the shifter from vibrating, but it'll stop the little pin. It's this really high zingy bzzz, because the pin is just rattling in the connection, in the pivot. I'll show you. So here I've opened up my transmission. The red one, that is my Overdrive. Okay, it's got a little play in it. I think I can tighten this bolt up here, and that will help some, possibly. But what's rattling is, if you look, let's see if I can find it in the video here. You see right there, that little pin, you know, it's just a little cotter pin connection. So I'm gonna put a little goo over that and see if it will just stop the rattle from happening. And I think there's another one back on the back of it. So we're gonna try that too. And I'm gonna check the fluid level in it because it's a little damp on the bottom. It has leaked some. It doesn't drip, but clearly it's leaking. I don't know, gasket. Maybe I didn't put it together. I rebuilt the transmission. I looked at the transfer case. I couldn't find any wear in it at all. Probably because the 4-wheel drive speeds out on the Delta were very, very, very slow. So I rebuilt the transmission, but you know, I've never rebuilt one before. And so there's a chance that I did something wrong that has allowed a little bit of a leak. And there's also a chance that it is a 50-year-old transmission that sometimes leaks a little bit. So I don't know. But I'm gonna top off fluids, that, and then lastly, I have this other little thing, and I'll show you my idea. So down here is my cross member, here. And you'll see my cross member is cupped upward, not down, but up. Okay, so there's like a cup in there, and it's bent. Everyone I've seen online is the other way. And I've not seen all of them, but you know, I ask around some on Buy Your Planet and some other things, and that's what I had found. My Scout's been tinkered with. It has a 2-stick transfer case in an 800, a 1969. That isn't factory, I do not think. And that might have something to do with this, I don't know. But the thing I've noticed is that right here, my transfer case, or transmission here, has a plate, and it seems like there should be a rubber block right here for this to sit on. And when I look online, they sell a rubber block, but it sits on this side. So it's only about that tall, which means it will never touch because this is deep. There's even 2 little holes here for it. And so it makes me think that maybe they turned this over, and maybe I could have just turned it back. I don't know. I left it the way it was because that's the way it was, and I figured they knew at least what they were doing when they were making their changes. So now, I think that's part of my vibration also, is that I don't have anything under here, you know, supporting this. So what did I do? Well, I should have figured this out in Bethel before I shipped it. The thing is that I never really drove it fast, and it never really vibrated because Bethel's a small place and the roads are small, and I think the fastest I ever got in it was like 42, and that was back before I had 3 of the same size tires, and before the
before the, alignment, and it was jumping all over the road. It was just terrible. Then I got to Anchorage, and then, things get harder when you're working out of campgrounds and people's yards because they don't have a house anymore and a shop. So this is what I've come up with this morning. It really wasn't bad in the top of Canada, but now that I'm just cruising along at 60, 65, so I've made myself a block. Got this block of wood. Turns out I had it in my campfire wood. By the way, you can't take campfire wood through the border. They take it away from you, but they won't take a 2x4. So, yeah. The good news is in Canada, all of the provincial campgrounds have free campfire wood. So no worries. Thanks, Canada. Yeah. So this is my block. I was a little nervous that it would break apart because it's got really wide rings there. So anyway, I'm gonna put tape on it. I might even put I got a big honking zip tie I might put around it just to kind of help it stay together. I'm gonna set it down in that groove, and I'm gonna slide it under that thing. And then I might zip tie it in and just see if it helps a little. It actually fits in there pretty firm. In time the wood will dent and it won't be great anymore, but it might get me another 2 days down the road, which is, at this point, best I can hope for. So let's see if we can get this put in. Well, that's not gonna work yet, because that rubber block I was telling you about is actually bolted down inside of here. I don't know if you can see it, but because of it, I can't put the block inside and slide it down, because right here, that block that rubber block is blocking me, but it's only, that tall. So there's no way it's gonna hit the thing. Okay, so I don't know, I'm keep thinking. So my original block idea didn't work, so I'm going with this. And then I'm gonna use some zip ties to tie it in. Now I know this is a very shade tree, previous owner hack. And it isn't like I'm not gonna fix it, but I am. Well, you look it up on a map. I am somewhere between Watson Lake and Tetlin, and I drove through Tetlin yesterday, and Watson Lake isn't a whole lot bigger, a little bit bigger. But Tetlin had a gas station. I think the population was like 130 people. I am thousands of miles, or 1,000 miles from a city, that's gonna have, and plus, I really am trying to make it to Rocky Mountain. So I'm doing this, and we're gonna see if it works. Nothing's broken yet. It was doing okay. It just vibrates a lot. This is just gonna hold it in place a little bit. It's not super, super tight, but it's firm. I pecked it in with my little hammer. A few zip ties. We'll see what happens. I got some big zip ties. What makes it really hard are the horseflies that are buzzing around me while I'm working. Anyway, when you need zip ties, get the big ones. These right here. I think I could hold the whole transmission in. Anyway, this is what I've done. Can you see that? Oh. So I've got it zip tied over here. I've got zip tied a bunch right there. Jammed in. I got the little piece of wood zip tied to the big piece of wood so it can't slide. We'll see. Okay, from in here, I have tightened up this bolt. Now, I can't remember, but I think I put this bolt in. When I bought this, I believe it was missing that. Anyway, if not, it's a 3/4 inch bolt, which certainly did, it firmed it up some, but almost, I had to loosen it back up a little bit because it probably should have had some Teflon washers or something. But what's happening is this, I think this will just back off again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take me a flat screwdriver. This isn't a flat, but And I'm going to just ding the thread right there once and see if that'll help slow it down from backing out. But this certainly is going to make it a little bit better. And with my block of wood down there, even more so. And then I just need to check the fluids. Yeah, I would say I was a solid quart low, which is, well, I mean, it's not good, but the same oil feeds the transfer case, the Overdrive, and the transmission. Now, granted, and I'm a little uphill from where I was. I'm not totally level due to the ground and the thing, but I'm pretty close. It isn't so much the ground, it's the new springs that just raise the front up. But actually, that probably would make it, I don't know. Anyway, not good. Okay, so the shifter boot is back on. Putting the knobs on now. I'd say after getting the jug out and shaking it, comparing it to what it felt like before, I'd say I was a solid quart low in the transmission. So I've got to be a little more active on that. Oh, here we go. This is what's getting me. See this guy here biting me? This was a horsefly and it hurts. But, oh, okay. Been bit by a few of those while doing this. And kill another horsefly that's trying to kill me. Eat me alive. Oh. Anyway, so while I'm doing that, this would be a great time for you to click the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Oh, so ready to get on the road today. It will be hard for you to see or hear, but much less vibration. The block of wood is working if it will stay in. "27 years ago, April and I put a sign in here when we drove up from Alaska on our honeymoon. So we're going to try to find it. is not working. So I'm gonna go back over to my teardrop and get the laptop out. And I'm pretty sure I took a photo, it might be on my computer, of our sign. Years ago, I scanned in a lot of our old photos. See if I can find it. Well, we spent at least an hour and a half looking in the blazing sun. Man, it's hot for Canada. Yukon. Anyway, we can't find it. So, if you ever see this sign and you're through here, you see this one, tag me. I'll put it right here. All right. We found a place for a nugget sticker over there. I'll put it right here. And then we are going to go get gas and hit the road again. Sadly, just ain't gonna happen. She's in there somewhere, I think. I thought I might be the only crazy guy out here, but his is a 58, so he's got me by about 10 years. And several $100,000. Pretty amazing to think that because of the washout on the Alaska Highway, the entire territory of the Yukon and the state of Alaska, the only link to the lower 48 currently, and will be probably for a month or more while they rebuild the road, is this road that is small. So small, there's no line. And rough and bumpy and curvy and really very fun to drive. The scenery is incredible, but you think about that, it's pretty amazing how little infrastructure there is up here, this far north. Anyway, we're just gonna keep chugging along. Rest area sandwiches. The best meal within 100 miles. Literally, no doubt. What you making for us, April?
Where else will you get a sandwich from the Bug Ninja?
The Bug Ninja is making sandwiches.
Not today. Not today. They are not messing with me today.
They are not getting her today.
My head is lumpy.
Not because she's been thumped, only because she's been bit a lot. Blood-sucking bugs.
That's what you call them. I call them something else.
Hey, now. We have a family YouTube channel.
That's why I didn't say it.
I'll tell you, if this looks pretty at all on video, it is 10 times better in person. Okay, so if you watched last year's episodes, when I was crossing the Denali Highway, the bolts on my manifold that connect the pipe to the manifold, the tailpipe, vibrated loose, and they've done it again.
Both bolts are still there, I can see them, but it's just too blazing hot for me to do anything about it right now. The road from here, from Dis Lake, which is near Dis Highway and all these people. Oh, Dis Lake. Dis Lake, which is near Dis Highway and all these people, is rough as a cob. It's rough.
Right now, you can see the line.
But you know, the gas line goes all the way back to there and all the way out that end of the parking lot, because I'm pretty sure this is the only station for a ways. And so we'll be in that line eventually, but right now we're gonna let the motor cool off and go inside and get a cold drink. And then I'll tighten up the bolts again. Might try Loctite this time. So I'm just going to snug it up a little bit now, and we're going to get in line before they close here. The traffic is, the lady inside said it's tripled since the road closure, and there's just not as many gas stations on this highway. And I've got room for 10 more gallons on one side, so we'll go ahead and just top that one off to be safe. I don't know what's further down the road. Okay, so that's one bolt. That's the easy one. In camp, I might loosen them back up and put a little Loctite on. Let it bake overnight. Let me get the pad back out and I'll crawl in. It's still a little bit hot, I have to say. Ow. Ouch. It's still very hot right there. Oh. Well, that should quieten things up a little bit.
Did you?
All right. Okay. That hurt. Well, that'll at least help me from sounding like a Harley while I'm going through the gas line. Luckily, the campground's about 10 minutes away, so we'll just camp there. These guys had to stop me to look at my cool Scout.
Yeah. Do you blame me though?
No, heck no. While we're waiting on gas, which is a big line. So he got us a campground for the night. We need to do laundry. April's going to do some cooking, and I'm going to loosen those bolts back up a little bit and put some Loctite on them and see if that will stay. Figure if I do it tonight, it'll have time to set up by tomorrow maybe. Or maybe not. Yeah, maybe it'll just cook on. I don't know. But we're going to give that a shot. Okay. Okay, so just shot myself in the forehead. Awesome. Whoop. Okay. I think I got that good. I know it's in my mouth. It seems like that's okay. Yeah, it's nice. Got that tightened up. Got the blue on it. Squirted the blue in my mouth. Also on the threads. Great. Tightened back up nice. And then let's see. Oh, look at there. My wood contraption is still in place. Surprise, surprise. It did cut down on vibrations considerably. Now that my work is finished, we're going to settle in here, have ourselves some supper, and get ourselves some rest. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy the videos, please consider subscribing, liking the videos, and ringing the bell. And as always, we'll see you out there on the road.